Today, I've decided to talk about laughter. Laughter is the best medicine, right? And it has so many good things for your body, and it's healing. But on the other hand, you have also these limiting beliefs that say, hey, if you're too happy or you laugh too much, what happens? Then you might have some negativity coming into your life for the next 20 years. So how did you deal with that?
Does that? Was that an old Italian tale?
That's an old Italian. That's an old tale,
right?
If you're
too happy, you're gonna.
So if you're too happy, right?
I've never heard that one.
If you're too happy, you can't be too happy, because what will happen is that you'll have to get sadness as well, right? So if you're too happy, then you'll have to get sadness, and you usually get more sadness. So are you afraid to be happy? Are you afraid to laugh? For me, I love being playful. I love laughing. You have to laugh all the time, right? But it's at one point in my life, I actually was afraid about this. I mean, I've grown out of that. That's fine. What do you think, Dino? Oh, Carina and Dino, break fear, find freedom. Hello, Dino.
What do I think? Do you really want to know what I think about this one?
Right,
I have never heard that in my life. If you laugh too much, you're going to have 20 years of sadness.
You're wow. Have sadness.
That's yes. Like total old school. Whatever that was, just throw that one out. So that's what you were afraid to
well,
to
of
laugh
course you're afraid. If you laugh and if you laugh too much and you're too happy, then you're going to get sadness, because it's a balance, right? So if you believe that, you're afraid. So you watch everything you do. I mean, okay, like I said, that was a long time ago. I'm over that. I'm laughing all the time. That's just the way it is. Yeah. But maybe someone believes that. I don't know. What do you think about laughter?
I think there's great healing power in laughter, but I also think there's all kinds of laughter. There's nervous laughter, right? Where you laugh at everything, but it's not because you think it's funny. It's because you're so nervous you don't know what else to do. That one, everybody out there, I'm not singling anybody out, can get a little annoying, okay? Then there's the over happy people. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing great. How about you? Whoa, slow down there, Turbo. That's like, right away I'm thinking, are you faking it? Are you like over happy? Just
are you on something?
Yeah, or on something. That's a good one. Yeah, I didn't think of that one. But look, everybody is bubbly and happy in their own way. The best kind of laughter, the best kind of humor, right? For me, and it's recently been kicking into high gear, is when you're able to laugh at yourself.
Yes.
I think that's the best one. Things we do are very, very silly. And sometimes, the ones that are authentic, that you don't have a million takes. For example, we're doing this podcast. We have no cue cards. There's no pre-rehearsed anything, which is great because it makes it authentic. And if we screw up, I don't say, oh my God, we should have changed this part. I'm just like, you know what? That's freaking funny. And I hope people can appreciate that.
Yes.
Again, we said this on another show that we did actually this week. It always comes back, if you notice, to confidence. Knowing who you are, being secure in who you are and what you're all about, how you look, how you act. I mean, everything, the whole 9 yards, right?
Yes.
Every guy looks better in a nice suit. But you don't have to wear a suit to be, the star of the show. I mean, it's you. It's not the clothes you wear, right? So when you get to that point of confidence, when you get to that point where you're not swayed by the flavors of the week, you can actually sit back and look at things. And, life is really funny.
Yes.
And when you have that humor, when you have that lighthearted approach, it just makes people feel a little more disarmed and comfortable because, let's face it. I mean, we all have that introduction especially in business. That's what I know. That's my world. We know I don't know that in my personal life. So let's just go to the business one. You know, that first 5 seconds to 30 seconds where you're feeling each other out, right?
Yes,
if you're in sales, you look at the watch, you look at the shoes, you look at the groom. If you're outside in sales, you look at the car. I mean, these are all material things, but that's what you're doing. You're assessing your opponent at all times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if your opponent is just a polished machine that has no feelings, you're going to be on guard.
Yes.
Right. But if you come in with, you know, you could still be polished, you could still be a machine, but you're also a human being, you know, where you come and you're just like, hey, you know, you're disarming just because of your lighthearted nature.
Yes.
That makes the other person disarm. So from a guard position, all of a sudden you're relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
Now you get to know the person. This isn't usury, by the way, guys. This is if you really, truly believe in what you're doing, no matter what you do,
yes.
if you truly believe in what you're doing, then you need to understand the motivation of the person you're trying to help or sell or mentor or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
And they won't open up to you if they're on guard.
No.
Right. And so it makes for a much more, pleasurable conversation. It's actually more efficient because you'll actually get to the point faster. And you'll actually, if you're in sales, make a sale faster.
Mm-hmm.
You'll accomplish the goal of a meeting faster. And then you can truly enjoy each other's company. People that have these 2-3 hour meetings, unless you're in a board meeting or something like that, let's just talk about regular people, okay, like us. Usually the intent of the meeting for me, I always found lasted between 5 and 10 minutes, mission accomplished.
Yes.
The rest of the hour was just like getting to know the person and having a good time and maybe finding some common ground and sharing a laugh. It was never going through the whole meeting, finishing the meeting, and at the end of the meeting, asking for the order or asking for the sale. That was done like within seconds of meeting that person. All right, so where am I going with this? Because I know we talked about that, but it all plays into it, right? We talked about laughing. I'm not looking at it like ha ha ha, although that is one of them. I'm looking at it like when you're lighthearted and you're okay with yourself and you're okay with the mistakes that you make and you understand that you're human and everybody else is too.
Yes. You
can have a much more enjoyable day and week and month and year and life, by the way.
Right. Yes.
And that's always been the way. Now it happens for me 24/7. But even when I had my demons, when it was showtime, so to speak, in the entrepreneurial world, demons aside, I still did the same stuff in a meeting. The laser focus went on and I was genuine. I may have been over the top because I was under the influence, but it is what it is. But it was the same approach. After the meeting, the demons were always there. They never went away. But during the meeting, you just kind of just like shut it out. So imagine now when you don't have that baggage to carry around, it's showtime all the time. I mean, This is a beautiful way to be, you know.
But it's also, that's what I'm saying. But the more confident you are, the more it's easier to be happy and just approach people with that like laughter, that relaxed feeling almost, because you're confident and you're okay with who you are, like you were saying, and people connect with you straight away, which is beautiful. Yeah. So they come out from nowhere and suddenly everybody, like we were speaking about, you've spoken about it quite often, where suddenly people, you just attract all these people. They just come into your world and they want to be part of your world because they want to be part of this beautiful, positive, confident energy. So it's beautiful. And then laughter is very easy as well, because sometimes laughter is difficult, like you were talking. Sorry, Dino. Sorry, like we were talking about the stressed laughter, right? That's like it's this. But if you open, and then it's just everything is just beautiful, and laughter is so easy.
It is, and I can't tell you how many times lately that people have complimented on, hey, I read this or I read that, or positive post, keep it coming, which makes you feel good. Let's face it, right?
Yes.
But then later on, because of that lighthearted nature, you can almost feel it, even through social, you can almost feel it. Where other people would say something appropriate or whatever, I just go off and say what's in my heart. It's not planned. I'm not thinking about the next great one-liner because I want to be liked or whatever. I just think what's in my head, genuine from the heart. And I respond. And it's almost like if other people would respond that way, they'd probably get slapped in the face. For some reason, that because of that connection, that lighthearted connection, they get the humor, they're more relaxed. And you make a lot of friends, you make a lot of new contacts that way because they trust you, because you're coming authentic. You're not coming with some kind of motivation behind your actions. You're really that way. A lot of people will say, well, it's loving people. I don't know, define love, right? Let's not go there today, but it's just understanding that we're all human, I think, and understanding that everybody wants a good laugh. Everybody wants to be lighthearted. Everybody wants to be relaxed. I don't think anybody woke up today saying, you know what, today I'm going to be mean and I'm going to be different.
No, I don't think so.
It just doesn't happen. Although it seems that way, with some people. But I think everybody would, given the opportunity, would like to have lighthearted conversations with people that actually mean nothing. You compliment somebody on how pretty they look. Doesn't mean you want to date them. They look pretty. What am I going to lie? Hey, you're ugly today. You just say what you say. If they get offended, they get offended. If they enjoy the compliment, they enjoy the compliment. I'm still walking away. Doesn't matter. So it's a philosophy that when you you're going to find that life is more enjoyable. Let's just put it that way, right?
Yes. But again, it's an internal thing. So it's about the confidence within yourself and knowing yourself again. I know we've said this often many times, but that's so important. Once you start knowing yourself and once you start realizing that, hey, you know what, we're all the same and life is good and what do you want out of this? And you see the good, then it's much easier. And it gets easier and easier and easier as you do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, look, on our segments on fear-based things that obviously we cover all the time, there's really about 10 different fears that we've always talked about. We've done many, many more than 10 shows, right? But we're talking about the same 10 things.
Yes.
What I'm finding is that if you're talking about a specific thing, let's say self-confidence, we'll touch on self-confidence every single week, but it may be this particular segment that resonates with somebody.
Yes.
Even though they've heard it 50 times before. It's this, look at it this way. Look at it as a McDonald's commercial. Just because you see the first McDonald's commercial of that delicious hamburger and the fries, you're going to see the commercial, you're going to run out and go to McDonald's and eat. And I'm not plugging McDonald's. They're not paying me for this. But you may have to see it 7 times, 8 times. Mm-hmm. But that one time when all the restaurants are closed, except McDonald's, and you're hungry because you didn't eat enough for dinner, and that commercial happens to come on the air, all of a sudden, McDonald's looks pretty good. And you're just like, you know what? Let me go to McDonald's. That's why they advertise so many times. It's not because people are stupid. It's just that people are so complex that they have different things going on in their lives. Each one of them carries emotion with them, right? So I'm not always hungry. So if I see a steak commercial, I'm not going to drive off the road and go to a steak joint every time I see a billboard. But that one time where I'm hungry and, I haven't had a steak in a while and I see that, it may be the time I go in. So don't discount the repetitive nature of our podcasts, even though it's the same fear that we're talking about, because it's that one time that somebody's going to get it that's important. And if we're really doing this to truly touch even one person,
yes,
then this is okay. You see what I'm saying? You could trademark that one, Michael. Right?
yes, of course, that's the way it is. So and you'll see that it's one person, and eventually that person goes, oh cool, I see this now. So I love that, because that's
so now let me can I take this one step further?
Yes,
this
please
is
do.
A great wrap up to this. All right, so let's take now this one step further. So we're lighthearted. We know who we are. We're confident. We're happy, genuinely happy, not fake, yes. Ha, 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 like you're forcing. Okay. We know who we are. We're comfortable in our skin and we're doing our thing, genuinely doing our thing out of kindness, yes. Right? And kindness giving out important. These great vibes.
Yes.
So let me tell you a great thing that just happened yesterday, right? So I'm minding my own business, as I always do. And all of a sudden I get this message out of the blue, and it was somebody out of New York. And I'm like, okay, unfortunately, I'm sorry, but these days you got to kind of sort out the people that are just playing with you, and now it's unfortunate, but it happens. But anyway, something made me look at that, and then she asked how she could contact me. So of course I give my email, and I get this email. I decided to call. All right. So here's a person, I can't mention names, but here's a person who by their own right has been famous for many, 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 many years in the broadcasting, radio, television industry. Okay.
Nice.
Went through some hardship and trauma, which I could totally relate to and understand. And decided to get out of the spotlight for a long time, kind of heal and lick your wounds and so on and so forth. All of a sudden, she rarely goes on Facebook these days, but for some reason, she saw somebody you might know, and it was me. She clicked on me and saw a couple of the posts that I do. And by the way, those posts are just what I'm feeling at the second. There's no pre-planning to what I do.
Yes.
It's just I'm not trying to hit one out of the park. I'm trying to resonate a feeling that I'm feeling. I'm not, so it's what I feel at the moment is what the post is. So anyway, she saw a post and she was touched and inspired. And she rarely does this, but she wanted to reach out. So we start talking and she's telling me her story. And she says, I'm at a crossroad. I have offers from 3 major networks that want me to come back on the air. I have an offer from a radio station that wants me to do that. But she says, you know what? I don't want to do that. And after seeing your story and reading your book, which she says I've just finished, I'm like, holy cow, talk about it.
That's pretty cool.
She says that I'm like you. I didn't want to go back to the old. I want to reinvent myself. Yes, I want to do something with you. I want to do something great. I'm like, all right, welcome to the family. I'm like, excuse me, can I ask you why? Obviously, I want to know why. And she's like, because you just made me feel comfortable. You made me feel relaxed. And you were just a really kind soul behind all the stuff that you post and your whatever, the accolades that we talk about when we make fun. Bottom line is I'm human, right? I'm a real person. That is a powerful thing to hear
Yes.
And it reinforces exactly what I'm talking about right now that we're talking about together. It's the vibe that you give out, which I can't explain any other way, that you just give out that you're a genuine person who's comfortable with who they are. You're not trying to sell somebody. You're not trying to cure cancer. You're not trying to find that great one-liner that's going to make you go viral. You're just, at the end of the day, just a regular guy communicating from the soul. And what you find is this beautiful connection back. Now, that's one example because it happened yesterday. If I told you that I had maybe 100 of those just this week, I wouldn't be stretching the truth. That's amazing for me. I mean, I'm honored. I'm not bragging.
That is amazing.
I'm not bragging. I just think it's funny because here's a guy that maybe 4 months ago was trashing social media up and down. Like, oh, I don't understand it. I hate it. And I still don't understand it. But if that's the new medium, if that's one little component of a way to reach people and spread your message, message of hope or message of inspiration, whatever it is, then I'm going to start learning it. And look at that, 4 months later. And what are we doing? We're touching lives.
Yes.
We're inspiring people.
Yes.
I'm not trying to make them me. I don't want to. There's only one me, and that doesn't mean I'm special. But you can't be me, just like I can't be you. But at the same time, to inspire somebody, to touch their soul, that they want to aspire to become more than what they are, is a priceless feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Best way I can say it. So to recap, this isn't the Dino hour where me. The point is of all of this is back to your original thing. What about laughter? And we took it and dissected it and just made it something different, which we always do. But it all comes from, let's call laughter being lighthearted, being genuine, being happy with who you are, being able to laugh at your mistakes, being able to laugh at your weaknesses. That's a really powerful thing to have. And it's not an act. And when it's not an act, people understand that. They gravitate to you. You've disarmed them so they don't have their guard up. And then all you have is two beautiful souls having synergy. And that's what changes the world. So to quote my book, a single touch can change the world. And man, I'm seeing it right in front of my eyes.
Yes, it is. It's beautiful. And sometimes it's just when you're walking down the street and you just smile at someone, or you just have that like you were talking about yesterday, about that conversation you had with someone in the store. So, and yes, and people feel that. People feel the authenticity because you're real with yourself. So this is who you are, and people are craving for that. So it's a beautiful thing when you just make that just one little thing, and it just ripples, because then they feel good about themselves and they pass it on. So that single act of kindness as well.
That's right. And actually, I have a post today that basically says, when you share the light, you don't diminish your own.
No.
And I got that
multiply
one.
it.
Really, actually, that's my photo, but it's the priest's words in the community, because Greek Easter, you take one candle and you light it, and then the person takes the candle and starts lighting everybody's.
Yes, I love that. That is
church.
so beautiful.
It's pitch dark, and then all of a sudden you see one candle, and then one candle touches other candles, and all of a sudden you start seeing like all this light. And he said something that just stuck with me. Obviously it's like the duh moment, because you should know this, right? But he said, look, I want you to compare this with the lives that people can touch. My candle still has a flame, even though I'm sharing the candle light with other people and they have flame. Mine is not diminished. So it's stuck in my head. So I go to my, that I had a feeling today, and I start looking at my photos that I'm compiling, this library of photos. And I'm like, you know what? This is the perfect photo for this perfect saying. And there you go. There's the post for the day. And it's really funny because that post is really what we're talking about today.
That's true, right? That's true.
You know what I mean?
And there's always an influence. There's no coincidence, right? There's always that synergy.
No, there isn't, but it's really cool. And it's true. I mean, try it out. Try it out. You're not going to diminish your flame by touching somebody. Don't change somebody. Just touch them.
Well, you can't really. Why would you want to change someone? Change yourself.
There's two ways to inspire somebody lightheartedly. There's one where you touch them and then you make them feel good and then things happen on their own. And there's the other one where it's like, hey, I'm going to help you. I'm going to inspire you. Can't you understand? Follow me. Don't do it this way. Do it this way. That's not what I'm talking about. No. Okay. Be genuine. Go out there, have fun, and be happy. And I hope, you know what? This was a good show. I enjoyed this very much. The healing power of laughter and lightheartedness. Go touch somebody today, not inappropriately, but touch their soul and spread the message of hope.
Yes, I love that. And be happy. Be happy.
Yep.
Just laugh at yourself. Life isn't that hard, really. We just need to see it in a different way.
You gotta lighten up a little bit, that's all. Right?
Right.
All right, Carina. I gotta go change life. Thank you very much. This was Break Fear, Find Freedom. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.